finished up the little, what do you call it, Hinge journal that we were making. And so I've just added a piece of that lace, that cool lace tablecloth that I have on the outside, and put a little tie on it. I stitched a tie to it, so it just stitches on like this, and then that comes off like that. And then here we have a black and white Santa image on that Christmas paper that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I added a piece of fabric, Christmas fabric. And then open it, and this is coffee dyed paper, and here's one of our little pockets, and in the pocket I have a little tiny envelope and just a piece of coffee dyed paper to journal on. Try to add a little bit extra journaling spot in these so that you know you've got at least somewhere to write, and a little tag there since I do cover up, you know, part of it. And then here's a spot. You could add another piece of paper on here. I've done that in a few spots, but anyway. And then this is a flashcard, a math flashcard, and you can still see the 4 there, but I added a piece of napkin here that I got from Lori. Thank you, Lori. And then a piece of paper and a little joy. This is from Dreams, Etc. This image I found on Pinterest. And so on the back of the flashcard you can write, and then this is coffee dyed paper that I stenciled, and when you open it there's another piece of book page that's just been inked, and I added some lines using corrugated cardboard. This, and then one of our little pockets with the little baby there, and I found that one on Pinterest. This is Dreams, Etc. and a little thing that says under the tree, and then a Merry Christmas. So yeah, just a couple little journaling spots there. So I thought those were fun. And then some more coffee dyed. And I think you could definitely write on that with a black pen and it wouldn't be a problem. And then you can write on this. It's a little bumpy with the wrinkles, but I don't think that it's bad. And then we have our little guest check that we altered together with, and put the tea bag on. And in the tea bag there's a tag that can be written on. And that just slides down in there. Yeah, I just think these make super fun gifts. Did I glue that? How did I have it in there a minute ago? Oh, you know what I probably did? I probably put it in the back instead of the front, yeah. And then on the tea bag, I just put some beads to dangle out like that. And there's a little piece of old notebook, like a little tiny notebook that I have, paper. But it's actually that color. I did ink a tiny bit around the edges, but... And then that's that painter's masking paper wrinkled up again. And then in here there's a larger tag to write on, and a window envelope that's been cut to, you know, fit the size of the journal. And then the Tim Holtz, and this is from Dreams, Etc. And somebody was asking what is a Hinge journal, and so if you didn't get to see where I put these together, this is a hinge. So it's just a piece of paper that's gluing these 2 pages together, and then you'll have another one on the next set of pages right here. So, and then this is another one of the guest checks that we did, and I just did those little tags using Tim Holtz people and some of the scrapbook paper. And I added a little bit of that, one of those funny clusters with all just little teeny snippets of fabric and junk on them. And that's that painter's masking paper. And then, oh, that's a pocket. I was like, why isn't it coming apart? It's a Lita Donnelly flip, so you can write on this side. And then there's a little envelope here, and in the envelope is a piece of coffee dyed paper, just like the other little envelope. And I just did a little Tim Holtz person and a piece of fabric on there. And this is the last one with the coffee dyed, and it's just sort of been stamped here and there with some script and a tag there. And then in this one is an even tinier envelope that also has a piece of folded coffee dyed paper to journal on. And then it is signed, and it all goes in the little bag that's been decoupaged, and I did stamp some holly and a little script on there, like the one that we did last time together. So that all comes together, and that will be listed in my shop. And then today I'm going to start, and I know you guys are probably going to get tired of the, oh, what do you call it? Hinge journals, but that's just, like I said, kind of what I'm working on. I thought this one might be a little bit different and fun though, because we're going to go with more pinks and blues and the angels and stuff. And these are from my Reason for the Season digi, like the little cherub here. And then that's my digital download. And then this one is Medieval Mirage, and this one's called Medieval Monuments Castles. And this is just the add-on. See, it says add-on kit, Medieval Monuments Castles. And so these tickets are going to be my hinges for this journal. So I thought it would be fun. I just kind of printed out, and this is a beautiful add-on kit, and so is the original kit with more of the pages for a journal. But I just wanted the add-on because I'm going to use the envelopes mainly to make the pages of my Hinge journal for this particular one. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So I've printed out 3 of those kind of envelopes, and then I have one of these. And lots of journaling cards and things that could even be turned into pages. But I also have these, and I thought they would make good pages to put on in there. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at. I thought maybe we could decorate a time card, and I'm going to cut it down just a little bit because it's a little taller than what I'm thinking, because those envelopes... I'm sorry, I still have a frog in my throat. I just can't seem to get rid of it. So when these are folded up, they're, you know, quite a bit shorter than this. So, I mean, I can make this a little longer. Like, I think I might cut it at like the 10 on there. But we could even turn it into a pocket that way. If I cut it, or should I just fold it up? Maybe I'll just fold it up. So if I fold it to like, it's always tricky folding this stuff because it's kind of thick. I think I'll fold it to the 7, and we'll cover some of this. So I know I'm making a mess of this part. Okay, it helps if I have my stuff that I need, like my glue and my bone folder. I had all that downstairs because I also started another what do you call it? Yeah. Hinge journal, a little shabby chic sort of one, Christmas one. So I was working on that last night. Okay, yeah, I dinged that up, but it'll get covered, so it's fine. You could cut off the bottom part and have it so that, you know, flip this piece so that it's on the front, and have it that way too. It's just kind of fun to have these different pieces. Like I had the flash card in the last one. They're fun to integrate in there, and they're a good stiff kind of a card, you know. So they work pretty good to use as a page. I hope you're all well and had a good weekend. My daughter had to go back and get another COVID test because more people at her work have come down with COVID, so they closed the restaurant all weekend. So that's kind of a bummer, and I pray that they're all okay. I mean, everybody's so fine so far, but it's just kind of scary, so keeping my fingers crossed that they're all pretty young, you know, working in a restaurant and that, so hopefully they will just come through easily. It'll be wonderful. But in the meantime, she had to go for another test because they have to keep testing them as long as cases keep coming up, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. But her last one was negative, so that's good, and that just gives me more comfort on my test that didn't come out, because it just makes me feel like hers probably wouldn't have been negative if she was around me, you know, if mine had been positive. So I'm really thinking I just had like a regular cold type thing. And then We've had so much smoke in the air that my asthma has been going crazy too, so that's why I'm having so much trouble with my throat and all that. All those mucous membranes are going insane. So I really want that one rose on here, so I'm going to try to... And this isn't really anything new. And if you don't have these, you could use guest checks like we used the other day. And if you don't have guest checks, just use a piece of manila file folder. Would work great. And you could even stamp something on the background, like some script or, you know, whatever you've got that would give it sort of a pattern on the background. Because I didn't have stuff like this for the longest time. I got these off of Ephemera. I think she actually sent them to me as a gift when I ordered something else, but yeah, you can definitely get them fairly easily. But if you don't, a manila file folder will work just as well. And you can decorate it up with, you know, your scrapbook paper or even tissue paper. Like if you have some tissue paper around, use that. Works great. So don't always feel like you have to get this kit or whatever. I just show you the kits because that's what I'm using, and I know a lot of people do want to know. But if you don't have them and you can't get them or whatever, then just use whatever you have and decorate it up the way you like it. And I'll stitch around this too, but I probably will still I was just thinking I should probably see if I can. This angel's really pretty. She would be really pretty on there. Maybe I'll just do that. I was going to say check my napkin because I forgot to do that before I started this, but I don't want to go there, put away right now, and I don't want to go dig them out. I don't think I mean, I know I have some with some roses on, but I don't know that they'll go with this particular thing anyway, so I think I'll just go with what I've got. Use what you got, right? As I keep saying. And yeah, these are also in my, like I said, my reason for the season. And it was a Christmas digi that I did last year with angels, and it was actually a nativity set that I found. It was in a museum online. But they were just such beautiful pieces, and I love nativities. And so I went ahead and used angels, and I do have like Mary and Jesus and Joseph. But I think these could definitely, like, I'll do this digital, or this oh my gosh, Hinge journal. I cannot cut and talk at the same time. And I think it could be used any time of the year, really. Like if you had a special Bible class that you were going to, just for, you know, like a few weeks or whatever, you could use it for that, or I don't know. I think there's loads of things that you could use it for. Kind of not in my cutting mode today. Sometimes I can just whip around these, and other times it just feels like it takes forever. So I'm sorry if you don't like the cutting. You can definitely fast forward, and you're not going to hurt my feelings. I just got Joff's kit this morning, and so I did not have any time to cut stuff out because I wasn't even thinking of using this until I started printing hers. And then it was like, oh, you know, it would look really pretty as those angels that I have. And so that's how that all came about. So it wasn't like I really planned this, so apologize about that. Sometimes that's just kind of how it works out. I'm going to actually go ahead and kind of cut some of these out too. But yeah, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you go ahead and fast forward to a part where I'm not cutting. I totally get it. It's not fun, but if you're just, you know, working on your own projects, then we're just hanging out together, which I know a lot of you told me you do, so that's so awesome, and I thank you so much for hanging out with me and just your kind words and support, and it's just amazing. I really appreciate all of you so much, because I would not be able to do what I do if it wasn't for all of you. I would probably still be working at the school, which, you know, that was a great job. It wasn't a bad job at all, and I do love working with kids, but I was just starting to get to the point where I was kind of really wanting to do something else. So it was very awesome that I was able to do what I really love doing, which is anything creative or artistic. That's totally my thing. And I never thought I would be able to do that as a job, you know, because I just never did. And I thank you all for your support of my digis and your kind words there as well. It's just been amazing. So yeah, I like that better, just so that you can see all the way through it is kind of nice. So I think we'll put her there, and it'd be kind of good to put something else back here. Maybe a doily would work. I don't know what I did with those little tiny ones. I put them away somewhere. It's like Gail was talking yesterday about how she was looking for something. I don't remember now what, but anyway, and she couldn't find it, and I'm like, oh, I can totally relate to that. I do that a whole bunch because I really don't have enough room, so I often put things away and then I cannot find them. Let's see, doilies. And I didn't stick them in with these ones, so I'll have to go on a hunt for those at some point. Kind of want a little bit finer doily, I think. This is just a hodgepodge of doilies that I've collected. There's even Christmas tissue paper in there. That probably would be good to get out. So like if I do something like that, I think that will work. I do need to ink this a touch. It's a little bit shockingly white. It's to blend in a little bit more than that. Okay. So I hope you all had a good weekend. We had a very nice weekend. We just kind of stayed around here. Our 25th wedding anniversary is in a couple of days, so we're going to go out to dinner. That'll be fun to do. It's always nice to have an excuse to go to dinner, right? I can't believe it's been 25 years. That just blows my mind when I think about it. Just does not seem like it's been that long. I mean, there's ways, you know, it does, because we've really been together for a very long time. But, yeah, it just went so fast. So it's pretty incredible. I don't know what I did with my little card that I had to push these down. Okay, we'll just cut off the extra. And I like to see, you know, a little bit of the lines and the numbers. I don't like to cover these up entirely. So I sort of feel like you could just use a piece of paper, you know, if you're going to cover it entirely. Let's tear that off. It seriously cooled down here. We were going to go for a ride on Saturday on the Razor, but it was cold, cold, and rainy, and so we were kind of like, it's just not as much fun. I mean, it's still fun, but not as much fun as when it's, I mean, it doesn't have to be like super hot or anything, but a little warmer helps. It's actually kind of nice when it's a little bit cool. The cool part wasn't necessarily the problem, it was the pouring of rain. It does have a roof though, so that's nice. It just doesn't have a windshield, so you get kind of battered and beat up by the rain. So I want to try to keep the wings on as much as possible. Okay. I see a few spots right along here that are trying to lift up. So I'll go ahead and put way too much glue right there. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Okay. Alright, and you could decoupage like that doily down too. That would be another way of doing that. Might work a little better. And I'm going to go ahead and put some, I was going to put some of my other glue stick on here, but I don't see where I put it. So I guess I'll just use this one. I like to use the other one on these just to make them stick entirely. That one's got a picture on the back. These are a little harder to cover. Okay, so there's that. So that will be a page for our little Hinge journal. I'll just put a little glue right here. And then we'll have the envelopes that will be pages. I like that idea because then they'll be a little bit thicker, and I might go ahead and back them too so that when you look inside the envelope it isn't just the color of the paper. I did use the parchment paper though to print all these, so hopefully. So that'll be a cute little pocket that we can slip something into, like one of the journaling cards or something. So let's see, let's try one of these and I'll just kind of show you guys what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to back them. I might put some avocado dyed paper, which is what I think I'll do for that one to give it a little more color, or coffee dyed paper on the backs. These big ones, I think I'll use that because the corner's kind of torn on it. I might trim it down just a little bit more. And then I'll just hinge these in just like, you know, I do with those other pages. They just won't be the double pages. It'll be kind of a lot of like single pages. But I think it will work. I'm going to try it. It's the first one I've done like this, so I'm not positive about any of it. We'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to glue stick it on. Try to get, you know, quite a bit of glue on there because that's what's going to hold it together. And the good part is I don't have to go over the edge at all because it's, you know, I have my border around it from the parchment paper. Okay, so will it fit this way? Yes, it does. And you could print it on a thicker paper. It's just I have the parchment or cardstock, and I think my cardstock's too thick. It would have to be like, I'm not even sure what weight it ends up being when it's glued together like this. But it's two really thin pieces of paper, so it just ends up being a nice weight and a little bit stiffer from the glue. And like I said, for these Hinge journals, that's just kind of what I like as far as weight, because I don't want it to just be the parchment paper thickness, because that just really isn't enough. Just needs that little extra. So these are beautiful. This is the first time I've worked with this Medieval Monuments digital download of Joss, and it's gorgeous. Just beautiful flowers, and I mean all her stuff is beautiful, but these particular ones I really like. And I like some of the castle images. They're just very cool. I think it will go very well with the Renaissance looking cherubs and angels. Very old world feel. It doesn't scream Christmas though, like I said, so that's kind of nice. If you're, you know, wanting a little bit more of something that could be used more times of the year. But still a great gift, I think. Didn't do a very good job on that. Okay, I'll probably save some pieces of that. That can go away. Right, so I'm going to get my scoreboard. I like scoring these kind of envelopes better. I just like the way that turns out more. And like one of my very brilliant subscribers said, put a Sharpie line on one of them. It makes it easier when you're doing these envelopes like this that aren't, you know, that's not a flat area there, and so sometimes it's hard to tell which line goes with what. So very great idea, advice. It's funny how you hear somebody else say that and you're like, oh yeah, duh. I'm smart. But it works great because then I know right where I'm going, and I know my board's not flat. I'm horrible, but it works. So you're not going to see a whole lot of the pink, but you are going to see it a little bit. So I just really like that little added extra something. And like I said, it is going to help thicken up my pocket a little bit to make it more secure. I'm not sure if she's wanting, yeah, I don't like it like that. I want it like this, I think, because the design goes all the way around, so the edge there. I didn't catch this corner, so I'm going to go ahead and get that. That happens pretty frequently with me anyway. Getting those corners, I miss them. Okay, so let's get this closed up. Since it's all nicely lined, that will work great. And I'm just going to put a little bead along this edge to make sure I get all the way to the edge. I'll just put a little on here too, near this edge. I love this with this pink. It's very pretty. Soft colors. Okay, and then like on these, see, so you can have this hinged to this, you know, have it hinged on. That will work great. I'm thinking we can put, well, this cherub is very close to the same color, isn't it? But we could put something with some color behind it. That's always a possibility. here. Something like that might work. See, I love these castles that are in this one. Oh, this one would work probably with that paper, but I kind of like that blue color, or it's kind of a robin's egg blue. I just saw Rachel's flip through of her Medieval Mirage Design team. She always does such great work, and she's just got all that great, like, old, you know, paper from the 17 and 1800s and all that, and that is just, that makes it look so cool. And fabrics and laces and what have you. Just looks so authentic. Love it. It's a little bit different in America. We don't have quite as much of the older stuff. I mean, like I said, I rarely find anything earlier than the 1920s. And it's not that there wasn't anybody here before that. It's just, for whatever reason, I just don't ever find it here. I mean, I grew up in a town from the 1800s, and you know, I do have a few pieces, but they're pieces that clearly I am not going to chop up or whatever. So, and a lot of that stuff, when you, it just doesn't have the same feel and stuff when you photocopy it. So what would be great, had I thought of it before I glued this together, I could put that, I could have cut around that flower and stuck that in the corner like that. But I did not. So instead, I think I'm gonna tear it, because now that it's glued closed, I can't really do anything about that. But yeah, if I were to do this again and think about it, I would have cut around the edge of this flower with an X-Acto blade, and then, or craft knife, whatever you want to call it. And then I could have tucked that corner right in there. I don't know, I'm not liking that because of the way it sits on there. Looks like it needs to go more like that, but I don't like that either. Now that I ripped that, I don't like it. It's not funny how you do that. Oh, this is pretty. The paper is really pretty. I think I might use this upper portion here. See what we can come up with. So let's see. I mean, this isn't going to add a whole lot of color. I mean, there's a little, but just not very much. My little cherub, but I think at least it makes it so you can see it a little better. If I ink around the cherub, I better put this in here or I'm going to have a problem. Yeah, that'll work. It will work. It's just not going to be a dark colored thing. Oh, you know what else I could use is a little piece of that fabric that Nora gave me. Because it's so pretty. So pretty. I wonder if it'll tear. Yep. Ugh, kind of gave me the shivers. Oh, the sound and everything. It's funny. I don't think it'll tear the other way very well. I don't know why it gave me the shivers, but it did. Okay. Where's my, get this down. Have it up a little. And it looks like it's, oh, I think it is upside down, but it was the top corner of the paper. Or was it the bottom? Maybe it's the bottom. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I don't think I can tear it again. Yes, I know I'm strange. It's like when I see people lick a napkin or something and wipe off a kid's face. I just cannot stand that. It's one of those silly things, you know, like fingernails and chalkboards and all that nonsense that we sometimes feel about certain sounds or whatever. I don't know why the paper towel or napkin thing bothers me so much. Kleenex, all that. It's like, nope, do not lick that. Because I can't take it. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and use art glitter glue just to make sure it sticks well to the fabric. Don't want the little cherub popping off. It's pretty cute. There we go. I like that. I love that pink. It's just very pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay, so that can hook onto there. And what else? We could use a bigger page just so you can kind of get an idea of how I could actually use this one. I don't know now that I've torn it though. I don't know if it'll be long enough. Well, if I use just the top. It's not going to be very tall either, but it's a little bit taller than the envelope. So like I said before, I like to do, you know, different size pages. So that's Medieval Mirage Medieval Monuments Castles. And this is just the add-on. This isn't the whole, all the pages and everything. Because I didn't need all that. Just needed this part. Okay, so to fold it, I need it to be about like, I don't need it to be super duper wide. Probably about there. All that fancy measuring, right? And then I will back this because it's just the one thickness. And let's go ahead and use the pink again. What do I do with that? I have some of that left. think this is going to be super pretty. Yikes. Thank you, Jeff, for letting me use your beautiful artwork. Great kits. Just a little bit more so I missed that torn corner. And I got this paper from Denise at Wonderboard Crafts, and I'm not sure, I haven't heard from her, so I'm not sure if she got her papers dyed, but I'll leave her in the description box so you can go check and see if she got those done. Or, you know, if she has some in her shop, is what I'm trying to say. She does have a digi, though, for it as well, so if all else fails, you can always do the digi for it. Because it is quite pretty, even for Christmas. Especially if you're doing that shabby Christmas look. Kind of got a little extra off, but I will ink that. And if you're not sure how to do the hinges, I will try to remember to link that video too. So try to remember all this stuff. But if I forget something, just let me know if you want to know about it, and that helps me go add whatever I forget, because I do quite often forget stuff. It's just lots of stuff to remember all the time, right? Okay, so then I'm not sure yet what's going to be the front of the journal, but I probably would do something like this, and then, you know, add more pages. Then you could do something on here to have kind of a focal point. Another one of these. One of these images would be pretty too. I love that. So cute. Could do something like that. Let's get some ink around that. It's hard for me to tell when it's not inked. I'm going to fold this. Some little kind of time wrinkles or whatever you would want to call them on there, because it wouldn't be all perfectly flat if you just found it somewhere. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. So nice having my little garbage can out again. I had it on my desk, but it was all the way at the back, and I think I just forgot to use it. Sorry, I'm drinking my Pepsi. Okay. Go ahead and put this on there. Strings. is this? So I think most of you were saying that the picture, the camera and all that looks pretty good, so I'm very happy about that, because you just never know what... I mean, it looks good to me, but a lot of times that happens and then somebody's like, I couldn't see it, or it was dark, or you know what I mean? Like, it's hard for me to tell, obviously. Like, my editor doesn't, my computer editing thing doesn't always show it as great as, or you know, what it actually ends up looking like. So I'm always good with feedback. I try really hard to make it heard and seen and, you know, all those things. So, but I know it doesn't always work out the way intended. Okay, sticky fingers. It's a little better when you use the art glitter glue on those bigger doilies, because you can get a good amount on there and it's not too bad. I don't know which way I want it. Yep, I like that. So yeah, I think we will stop there because I think you guys are getting it. I will show you real quick. Let me cut out one of these. I mean, I know you got it already. It's not like it's rocket science, but I know some people didn't see the hinging part, so I just wanted to make sure everybody gets what I'm doing. So I'm just going to cut off one of these tickets. I'm actually going to back it first, because in that way it'll be backed in case you can see any of it. And plus it just makes that hinge a little thicker so that hopefully it doesn't tear easily. That's the kind of the reason for that. But again, you could print whatever on a thicker paper and not worry about it. It's just the way I like to do it. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold this in half, you know, the long way. And I think these will make great hinges. That's what I'm looking for. Just needs to be inked. And you can use any paper. Use scrap paper, whatever. You know, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be tickets. It can be whatever you want. Like you saw in that one that I just finished, I just used regular scrapbook paper and I cut it with pinking shears, and that's all that is. And those are backed on book page. And then you can go down the spine of it if you want to. But then this will get glued here and onto this page, so let's just go ahead and do that. And then I'll probably make another larger page like this one to go back behind these other ones, or on the very back of the journal. I try to get the front one and the back one at least fairly close to the same size, just so that, you know, it makes sense as a book and isn't like feel weird, like it's, you know, you couldn't stand it up or something like that because it's too wobbly. Because, you know, these would be fun things to put out as decorations even at Christmas time. And I've used tacky glue for this part right here too. Either one will work because these are both great glues. Okay, and then I just want to try to kind of line it up as best I can here in the middle. At least that's how I'm doing this one. And so then I always like to push my edges down on a flat surface just to make sure that I'm not getting off track so that the spine is weird. This way it keeps it all lined up like that, even once you have all the pages together. So it comes like this, and then there's our hinge. And we'll put another hinge here and put this on. So you get the idea, and you just keep doing that. You just keep adding another hinge, another page, another hinge, another. You can do more of the 2-page ones, however you want to do it. So I hope that is helpful, and I hope you guys, a lot of you have said you're going to try making some of these for Christmas, and I think they're just great gifts. And they don't take, I mean, they take a bit, but they don't take, you know, an extreme amount of time. And if you have people that aren't huge journalers but like your journals or whatever, then this is kind of a good little gift for them. So we will chat again soon. Thank you so much for everything. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.